Welcome back to another explainer. Okay, we're going to dive right into this one. Today, we're looking at an absolutely brilliant marriage of ancient nature and modern space-age tech, unfolding right in India. For those of you who love seeing high-tech solutions applied to real-world, muddy ecological problems, you're going to love this. It's a phenomenal case study. We're going to explore how a highly endangered and honestly incredibly elusive creature is getting a massive upgrade in how it's protected, and we'll see exactly why this specific operation matters so deeply for global conservation. So, I want you to imagine the sheer logistical nightmare of this for a second. How do you protect an endangered animal you can barely even see? We talk a lot about conserving tigers or rhinos, right? Animals you can actually track through footprints, broken branches, or camera traps in the forest. But what do you do with an underwater creature that spends almost its entire life completely hidden beneath the murky, rushing waters of massive river systems? It's a fundamental problem. You literally can't manage what you can't measure. For decades, dedicated researchers have essentially been operating in the dark. They had to guess the behaviors and habitats of these freshwater species just because the river hides them so well. But, as we're about to see, that era of guessing is officially over. Section 1. A historic wildlife milestone. Tech meets the Brahmaputra. Just recently, right on Endangered Species Day, India achieved a massive technological leap. They released their very first satellite-tagged Ganges softshell turtle. And this didn't just happen anywhere. It took place in Assam's legendary Kaziranga National Park. Now, Kaziranga is already globally famous for its intense conservation efforts, but there is a real breaking news energy here for the scientific community. It represents a profound shift in methodology. It's the very first time this incredibly vulnerable, fiercely hidden animal is being actively monitored from space. It literally gives scientists an eye in the sky over those muddy waters. And listen, this wasn't just some quiet, behind-the-scenes scientific experiment. Assam's chief minister, Himanta Biswa Sarma, personally announced this milestone. He highlighted it as a deeply proud moment for the state and a huge step forward for wildlife conservation. It brilliantly illustrates a core governmental commitment here. They're protecting the complex biodiversity not just of their terrestrial forests, but crucially, their vast and often overlooked wetlands. When the absolute highest levels of state leadership are out there publicly championing the tracking of a single turtle, well, you know a massive paradigm shift is happening in how we value these ecosystems. Section 2. Meet the Ganges softshell, an ancient river dweller. So let's actually meet the fascinating subject itself. Scientifically known as Nilsonia gangetica, this is a freshwater turtle that calls the vast, sweeping river systems of the Indian subcontinent its home. If you are ever lucky enough to actually spot one breaking the surface, the key visual identifier is the set of distinct, almost geometric, arrowhead-shaped markings right on the top of its head. It's kind of an incredible paradox, isn't it? This animal possesses such a striking, beautifully distinct visual pattern, yet it remains practically invisible to the human eye once it slips back beneath the river surface. And they desperately need to be spotted and protected. Under India's rigorous Wildlife Protection Act, this specific turtle is listed under Schedule I. Now, that is the absolute highest level of legal protection in the entire country. It's the exact same elite conservation tier granted to the Bengal tiger or the Indian rhino. And globally, the IUCN Red List classifies them as endangered. This dual status isn't handed out lightly. It means the alarm bells are ringing loudly at both the national and international levels. We urgently need intervention before this ancient species just vanishes from the rivers entirely.
Section 3. The threats they face, surviving the muddy waters.
I want us to slow down for a second right here, because the reality of what this species actually endures is stark. They're fighting a bitter war on three intersecting fronts just to survive in their natural homes. First, there's habitat degradation. This means the physical altering, damming, and sand mining of the very riverbanks they desperately rely on to bask and lay eggs. Second, severe pollution, which systematically degrades the delicate freshwater ecosystems they breathe and hunt in. And third, persistent illegal hunting across several regions. The sheer weight of these overlapping crises is exactly why traditional, passive conservation, simply drawing lines on a map, it just isn't enough anymore.
Section 4. Tracking from space, data-driven conservation.
Remember our initial question, how do you protect what you can't see? Well, here is the technological answer. By safely attaching a really robust satellite transmitter to the turtle's shell, researchers can finally map its completely hidden life from orbit. Step 1. They'll track its seasonal movement patterns. Like, where exactly does it go when those massive monsoon floods hit? Step 2. They'll determine its actual home range, mapping the precise territorial boundaries it needs to survive year-round. And step 3, which is arguably the most vital of all, they will finally identify its critical nesting and breeding sites. This isn't just a cool use of tech. This is the fundamental, foundational data required to ensure the next generation of turtles even gets the chance to hatch.
And this directly informs the ultimate goal, beautifully summarized here by Abhijit Das, a senior scientist at the Wildlife Institute of India. It's entirely about active management. You see, we aren't just bouncing signals off satellites for the fun of scientific curiosity. This hard data dictates exactly how forest officials will deploy resources across the vast Brahmaputra river basin. If they know the precise GPS coordinates of where these turtles breed, they can fiercely and proactively protect those specific riverbanks from human interference. Ultimately, this space-age tech takes the guesswork completely out of conservation.
Section 5. Assam's rich turtle diversity, a global conservation hotspot.
According to Kaziranga National Park Director Sonali Ghosh, the state of Assam is home to a staggering 21 different species of turtles. 21! That is an immense concentration of life. It makes Assam one of the absolute richest turtle habitats in all of Asia, ranking among the world's top priority regions for freshwater turtle conservation. It's an ecological treasure trove. And that makes the success of this brand new satellite tagging program so incredibly vital. If this targeted data-driven tracking works for the Ganges softshell, it creates a powerful replicable blueprint. We could use it to save countless other species sharing those exact same waters.
And to really drive home how unbelievably dense and critical this specific ecosystem is, just consider this. Out of the 8 total softshell turtle species reported in the entire country of India, 5 of them are found in Kaziranga alone. 5 out of 8. The ecological density packed into this one protected reserve is truly mind-boggling. It strongly underscores exactly why the Assam government and national scientists are pouring space-age resources and immense effort into this specific muddy river system. It isn't just a park. It is an absolute fortress for global biodiversity. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. As space-age tech beautifully merges with these ancient, flowing rivers to map the unseen, you really have to wonder, what other hidden ecosystems can satellite tracking help us save? We are finally beginning to solve the problem of the invisible turtle. But honestly, this feels like just the dawn of a massive new era of data-driven conservation. I hope this structured look at the Ganges softshell gave you a clear, fascinating understanding of how modern science is stepping up to protect ancient life. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Stay focused, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.